When we think of witchcraft and witch trials in early America, we often think of Salem, Massachusetts, but Virginia is where it all started and where it ended.
The first formal accusations of witchcraft in English North America took place right here in Jamestown in 1626, and the last trial took place here too, over 100 years later in 1730.
Between those years, Virginians saw dozens of accusations. There were no mass panics like in Salem, but fear, suspicion, and neighborly grudges were enough to put people on trial.
In the 1590s, a violent storm nearly sank the ship carrying Anne of Denmark on her way to wed King James VI. When James went to Denmark to retrieve her, another storm arose. These storms were blamed on witches intent on sabotaging the marriage of the royal couple and threatening the king's life. Shortly after, the North Berwick witch trials followed. More than 70 people, most women, were tortured and forced to confess. Many were executed. King James played an active role in the proceedings and their outcomes. A pamphlet, News from Scotland, spread the story, fueling fear and paranoia in the public. In 1597, King James published Demonology, describing witchcraft as high treason against God. When he was crowned James I of England in 1603, the book was reprinted there. In it, he identified supposed signs of witchcraft and defended witch hunts, stating that witchcraft is most common in the wild parts of the world. Its themes may have even influenced Shakespeare's Macbeth, performed for the king in 1606.
In 17th century Europe, people lived in a world steeped in the supernatural. Witches, demons, sea monsters, and other dark forces were believed to cause everything from spoiled milk and rotting crops to crippled livestock and even death. This was also an age of crisis. Religious conflict, food shortages, rapid population growth, and class tensions heightened fear and suspicion. Misfortune was often blamed on outsiders or anyone who lived beyond accepted norms. In England, religion was deeply woven into daily life, and politics and faith were inseparable. While Protestant reformers sought to strip what they saw as supernatural excess from the Catholic practice, belief in witches, spirits, and curses remained deeply ingrained. King James claimed divine authority to rule, and in 1604, he commissioned a new English translation of the Bible to reflect his vision of a reformed faith. That same year, Parliament passed an act against conjuration, witchcraft, and dealing with evil and wicked spirits. The law expanded the definition of witchcraft, making more practices capital crimes and reinforcing that witchcraft was a felony punishable by death, a reflection of the genuine fears of the time. English colonists carried these beliefs and laws across the Atlantic. In Virginia, they shaped how settlers interpreted misfortune, danger, and the unfamiliar. When English settlers encountered Virginia Indians, they often interpreted unfamiliar customs, appearances, and beliefs through the lens of demonology rather than cultural difference. One Anglican minister declared, "Satan visibly and palpably reigns in Virginia more than in any other known place of the world." But as the colony stabilized, suspicion turned inward, toward unpopular or eccentric neighbors. In this environment, misfortune became proof of malice, and witchcraft became the most logical explanation.
The first recorded accusation came at Jamestown in September 1626. Joan Wright, a midwife and healer from Surrey County, was brought before the general court. Midwives and healers like Joan were considered cunning folk, respected by some but feared by others. Their knowledge and independence set them apart from accepted gender norms and sometimes set them up for accusation. Neighbors testified that after she was denied chickens, the flock died. One man swore that his crops drowned after she left his farm. Others claimed she foretold deaths and misfortune. Even her left-handedness, seen as unlucky, added to suspicion. Joan's husband was brought to court, where he stated that after 16 years of marriage, he knoweth nothing by her touching the crimes she is accused of. There is no official record of a legal decision in Joan's case, but her trial set a precedent. Personal grudges and bad luck could be enough to summon a charge of witchcraft.
Catherine Grady was a passenger on a voyage to Virginia in 1654, where she was accused of raising a deadly storm. She was tried aboard ship, found guilty, and hanged at sea. She never reached the colony alive.
While most accused were women, a few men faced charges too. In 1656, William Harding of Northumberland County was accused of witchcraft by a minister. He was found guilty, lashed 13 times, and banished from the county.
The most famous Virginian accused of witchcraft was Grace Sherwood, born in Virginia in 1660. A skilled healer, herbalist, and midwife, she lived in Princess Anne County, what is now Virginia Beach. Neighbors repeatedly spread rumors that she cursed pigs, ruined crops, and practiced dark magic. Sherwood and her husband attempted to sue for defamation, but their case was dismissed, leaving the rumors unchecked. Elizabeth Barnes even accused Sherwood of trying to ride her at night and escaping through her keyhole as a black cat. Witches were believed to fly on the backs of horses or other farm animals at night, and if animals were unavailable, climb on the back of a human. This is where the term nightmares comes from.
In 1706, a jury of ancient and knowing women were chosen to search Sherwood's body for moles, birthmarks, or other blemishes thought to be witches' marks and signs of a pact with the devil. They found 2. Later, Sherwood was subjected to the infamous ducking test. Bound and lowered into the river, an accused witch was believed to float if she made a pact with the devil, while sinking was taken as proof of innocence, with the person pulled from the water before drowning. On July 10, 1706, Sherwood floated. She was imprisoned while awaiting trial. Though the outcome of that trial remains unclear, in 1714, land patent records that she had been released by that time and granted 145 acres that had once belonged to her father. She lived there quietly until her death in 1740. Over time, her story became legend. Today, Witch Duck Road runs past the site where Grace Sherwood was tested in the water. In 2006, 300 years after her trial, Virginia's governor formally pardoned Grace Sherwood. In 2007, a statue of her was erected in Virginia Beach, transforming the Witch of Pungo into a symbol of resilience and a figure of local pride.
The last known witch trial in Virginia took place in 1730. A woman named Mary was convicted of using black magic to locate lost items and treasure. Her punishment was 39 lashes. That same year, Benjamin Franklin satirized witch trials in the Pennsylvania Gazette, a sign that public opinion was beginning to change. The Enlightenment encouraged more rational explanations for illness, misfortune, and the unknown, weakening old fears of the supernatural. Gradually, witchcraft accusations lost credibility in the court. By 1736, Parliament repealed England's witchcraft law entirely.
Virginia was both the beginning and the end of witchcraft prosecutions in colonial America. From Joan Wright in Jamestown to Grace Sherwood in Pungo, these stories reveal more than superstition. They reveal the struggles of communities wrestling with hardship, fear, and change.
Accusations of witchcraft often fell on those who lived differently: the midwife, the healer, the outsider, the neighbor who did not conform. Today, their trials remind us of how quickly fear can turn into suspicion and even demonization, and how easily rumor can turn into persecution.
Thank you for watching.
If you liked this video, like, subscribe, and leave a comment below.
Okay.